6 feet 7 inches. Number 44, Bojan Bogdanovic.
Thanks for joining 2K Sports for NBA action this Sunday afternoon. With two Hall of Famers, Doris Burke and Grant Hill, I'm Brian Anderson. Allie LaForce, our reporter. Let's see the stat sheet here for D'Angelo Russell.
And by looking at his true shooting percentage over the last 5 games, you can see how much he's paying attention to his shot selection, and it's showing.
And we have a minute to catch up with our reporter. What do you have for us, Allie?
Rudy Gobert has had his skeptics. He said, quote, "No one ever thought I could be an NBA player or one of the leaders on my team. It's the story of my life and something that I embrace. The better you get, the more people talk. So I take every criticism as a compliment. Either way, you cannot let it affect you." Brian?
Good stuff, Allie. Thanks. The middle part of the season can present some unique challenges. Grant, how do you maintain your focus as a player?
Well, it can be tough. It can be really challenging because it is such a long season. You ultimately have to keep your eyes on the prize. And of course, veterans know hard work now pays off later. You want to protect your record and start building late season momentum.
Looking at the starting 5 for the Minnesota Timberwolves. The backcourt, it's Russell and Edwards. Rudy Gobert is out there with Kyle Anderson. And it's McDaniels in at the 3. And for Detroit, they've got Marvin Bagley, Isaiah Stewart out there with Bojan Bogdanovic. Then there's Ivy, and it's Hayes in at the 1. Edwards. Here's Gobert. Banked it in off the glass.
And this is what Rudy Gobert's job is. Be a force on the glass.
Hayes against Russell. Pass to Ivy. Back to Hayes. Shot clock at 6. And stolen by Gobert. Here's Edwards. Can't get it to go, making him 0 for 2. Well, you know the Timberwolves are a young squad, Doris. When will it be their time, you think?
I think, B.A., when you have a talent that is the anchor of your organization, which they have in Karl Anthony Towns, Cat is one of the most talented big men, most polished offensive players that we've seen in the NBA. Couple him with Anthony Edwards and Rudy Gobert, and I think you now have to start looking to be a consistent winner. I am anxious to see what this team does this year.
Now here's Russell, giving them some good production, putting up just around 16.5 points a game.
You have the sense that D'Angelo Russell likes to play through contact. This is a tough-minded player.
Fantastic replay we just saw of the Mobile One drive.
Yeah, and in close games like this one, B.A., you need toughness. Guys who will run to the fight and get after it.
Here's Ivy, guarded by Edwards. Ivy's shot is off. The Timberwolves have gone just 2 for 4 from the floor. Edwards, a pass to McDaniels. Outside, Anderson. Pass to Edwards. Kept alive. And the basket by Gobert. Gobert's gotten his second bucket.
Well, the addition of the upper body strength, it's turned Rudy Gobert from role player to all NBA. Go ahead and absorb it, Rudy.
Edwards against Hayes. Now here's Edwards. Defense right on him. Ooh, good D by Bagley.
Boy, a really tough quarter for this guy. Just struggling to make shots right now.
Bogdanovic passes to Hayes. Here's Ivy. Back to Hayes. Tries to snap the cold streak. Rebounded by the Timberwolves. And this is their first time matched up with the Pistons this year.
And they swept the team last season, got the upper hand, and sustained the momentum.
Well, a year ago, there was a big gap in talent between the two teams. But changes are always made, and we'll see how they match up this time around.
And so it's the Minnesota Timberwolves with a 9-point cushion at the end of the quarter. A big difference in shooting percentages. That's why they lead. Back to the game after this break. Great to have you with us. Second quarter of basketball. This game has not exactly been neck and neck, but plenty of time left in this one. And before we move on, what do you guys think about what we've seen from the Timberwolves?
Give it up for their D. They're battling, communicating, and coming up with key stops.
Yeah, I think they wanted to come out of the gate strong, and they have. They've taken the early lead here.
And Detroit has possession. They trail by 9 on the court for the Timberwolves. Second quarter underway. Kyle Anderson is out there with Naz Reid. Then it's Jalen Noel. Then there's Austin Rivers. And it's Moore in at the 3 slot.
Oh, no, he didn't.
Punch it home.
Nice. You have to put a body on Duren. He's quick, he's athletic, and he has that 7'5" wingspan.
There's the AT&T 5G Slam Cam, capturing the moment. Reed sets a screen. Low block shot. Jacks up a 3. The shot misses. Now the Pistons take it the other way. Last game matched up with the Grizzlies. A tough loss there.
Honestly, they were just outclassed in that one. We thought it would be a tough night for them, and it was.
Sometimes it's about the talent disparity, and it would have taken a massive effort for them to even be competitive, and it was nothing close to that.
Now here's Anderson. 14 points for him last game against Portland.
And you know, guys, the other thing I really appreciated about his effort in that game was the effort and work on the glass. What a well-rounded performance.
For Detroit, they've gone just 1 of 3 to begin the second quarter. Last season, the NBA mourned the passing of Hall of Famer Bob Lanier. He played his first decade with the Pistons.
A sad loss for the NBA. Now, he represented them 7 times as an all-star. But for all his greatness on the court, he'll be remembered just as much for the work he did off the court as the league's global ambassador. A nice rebound, trying to match the other team's intensity right now.
1:21 left to play in the first half of basketball. 6 on the shot clock. Takes it inside. Here's Reed. He drains it as the shot clock ticks down.
Looks like we're starting to see a pattern here. Not afraid to get in the paint and get wet.
Detroit has gone 0 for 2 from outside in the second quarter. On the wing, Burks. And the shot counts. He's fouled, and it's a chance for a 3-point play.
And in Jaden Ivey and Jalen Duren, the Pistons taking arguably the 2 best athletes in the 22 draft. The youth movement is on, and Detroit is definitely fun to watch.
And it's a completely new group for the Timberwolves.
Shooting 1.
And in trading for Rudy Gobert, the Timberwolves taking a Twin Towers approach with 2 7-footers in their front court. Of course, the outstanding shooting of Karl Anthony Towns means that spacing shouldn't be much of a concern.
Now here's Gobert. He had a 24-point outing in their last game against Portland.
And what a wrecking ball defensively, seen by the 4 steals he had in that game.
I think he's gone completely dry. Nothing is hitting.
And this is where you hope that he can find something easy so he can see the ball go through the net.
Russell against Hayes. 8-second difference between the shot clock and game clock. Noel with a screen on Edwards. He gets it in there.
That's a pretty good stroke from Bogdanovich. Really pure form on that.
Here's Edwards. 26 points for him last game against Portland. Pass to Gobert. The three from Russell. So we conclude the first half. The T-Wolves on top, leading by 6. Well, now a minute to check in with Allie LaForce. She's courtside. Hey, Allie.
Thanks. I'm here now with Dwayne Casey. Coach, how do you assess your shot selection and your decision-making offensively?
Well, we had some good looks. We just got to make sure we keep our poise and composure and knock them down. We had some good looks. We knew they were going to come out with a lot of juice, a lot of speed, a lot of quickness. We made some mistakes defensively, not matching up quick enough. So, again, we got to keep our composure and stay with our game plan defensively.
Good luck. Thank you, Coach.
Thanks very much, Allie. And, folks, we'll be right back to start the second half of this game.
Welcome in for halftime. And what's on tap, you ask? I can answer. So far, it's been a nice outing for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Tight game tonight. You two ever play in a close game? Like maybe a big one that really mattered? Maybe in, perhaps, say, 1995?
Well, you know, I don't remember the year any, but I do recall a game in the NBA Finals. I think there was like 7 threes involved, broke an NBA record, something like that. Is that right, Shaq?
You'll set me up again. This isn't fair.
I just picked a random year. Moving on. In that first half of basketball, things are looking pretty good for the Timberwolves.
Everything going their way on the offensive end. Their stars are beasting, Shaq. Beasting, and I know you had a couple nights like that yourself.
I was on every night. Ernie, can you believe this guy?
No, I think he makes a very valid point.
No, remember 1995, Shaq?
Yeah, I remember that night.
Kareem Olajuwon.
Oh, okay, Kenny. Yeah, Kenny, you won 1 series, but you have 2 and I have 4. So there's 2 more than you and 4 more than Ernie. So both of you, shut it up.
Thanks for tuning in. Now we head back to Brian Anderson for the start of the third quarter.
And in that first half, we saw a pretty tight battle. We'll soon find out what sort of adjustments were discussed during halftime. You gotta like what we're seeing from D'Angelo Russell.
Yeah, even with the extra attention he's getting from the defenders, he's finding ways to excel.
Well, he knows they're coming for him, but he's accustomed to that kind of attention, and he's quite comfortable dealing with it.
Isaiah Stewart out there with Bojan Bogdanovich. Then it's Marvin Bagley. Then there's Ivy. And it's Hayes in at the point. That's the 5 on the floor for the Pistons.
And they've just built this lead by attacking the boards.
Even on the years he's not winning Defensive Player of the Year, Rudy Gobert finds a way to finish in the top 3. This is one of the most consistent, elite defenders in the game.
Connects from downtown.
What you love about D'Angelo Russell, he can impact winning with both his scoring and his passing.
Bogdanovich on the wing. Over McDaniels. Rebounded by the Timberwolves. Endorsed with Gobert, it still feels like he doesn't get the credit he deserves.
And BA, at this point, I find that inexcusable. You just watch the game and understand the metrics to see the massive impact that Rudy Gobert has on winning. It is not only on the defensive end either.
Russell, the pass to Edwards. And a miss there on the triple. The Pistons trailing. They need something good to happen here.
Yeah, they've gone way too long without a score.
Back to Hayes. And he lobs it up.
Easy to see why Ivy's guys lob it his way. He's fantastic at capping off alley-oops.
Minnesota's gone 1 of 2 shooting from the perimeter since halftime. Picked by Gobert. Here's Russell. Pass to Gobert. And out of bounds. The Pistons will take it. And here's what the Detroit Pistons schedule looks like. On Sunday, they'll face off against Anthony Davis and the Los Angeles Lakers. Then on Wednesday, they'll go up against Gordon Hayward and the Charlotte Hornets. Detroit calls timeout. And it's a completely new group for the Pistons. And the Timberwolves will go for a different look here. Reed's checked in for Anderson. Moore comes in for McDaniels. Forbes is checked in for Edwards. And Rivers is subbed in for Russell. .110 left to play in the third quarter of basketball. Pass to Diallo. Now Bay. Outside Burks. Just 5 on the clock. It's blocked by Gobert.
Well, let's remember, Rudy Gobert has got a 7'9" wingspan. Sometimes it's just easy picking sending it back.
It's great to see a fantastic block on replay once again.
Yeah, what a play. I mean, that'll have the offense thinking twice about taking shots in his presence.
.50 seconds left in the third quarter. Joseph can't hit. Minnesota in the lead. Here's Forbes. Looking for his first basket still in this one. Pass to Gobert. And he drops in the layup off the glass.
You know, the coaching staff loves seeing this kind of playmaking from Austin Rivers, the willingness to share the basketball.
Left side Burks. 19 seconds left in the third quarter of the game.
Rudy Gobert, first personal foul. First team foul. At the line for your Pistons, Bird, Alec Bird, taking 2 shots.
First free throw is good.
Alec Burks continuing to develop into a dependable scorer. He's got great size for a two-guard.
And so he's able to get 1 of 2. For Minnesota, they've got 2 of 3 from the floor in this third quarter. Pass to Moore. Now Gobert, covered by Diallo. Back to Reed. A slam dunk by Reed.
The big guy attacking the rim. The throwdowns are loud and emphatic.
For 3, Diallo. And no good. Trying to get that one to fall. And so it's Minnesota earning this break in the action, up 10. Great shot selection right now, keeping the game simple and getting high percentage looks. We'll be right back after this word. All right, let's take a look at our assist of the game presented by State Farm.
Now, I know he's a big man, but he's got some point guard in him if he's making passes like this.
I'll tell you, in today's game, you want skill and decision-making at every position.
And this is it. Glad to have you along for this fourth quarter. The Timberwolves shooting around 53%, a nice number. And a look now at the 5 for the Timberwolves to start the fourth quarter. Filling in the wings, Edwards and McDaniels. Kyle Anderson is out there with Rudy Gobert. And it's Russell in at the 1. Now here's Bay. Pass to Ivy. It deflects off the backboard. Hayes against Edwards. He can't get it to go. And the Pistons going the other way now. Pass to Duran. Back to Hayes. Here's Duran. Guarded by Edwards. Here's Duran. And stolen by Edwards. Outside Russell.
2 minutes remaining.
Kicks it out to Anderson. This one for 3. Offensive board. Uses the glass on the layup. And the Timberwolves lead by 12. And a chance to catch up on some numbers here. The hustle stats for Minnesota.
Their defensive intensity has served them well. It kept the offense scrambling and resulted in several steals.
And also, guys, the tenacity they've shown on the defensive end has been something else. Look at how many blocks they've tallied thus far.
Now here's Edwards. A minute 29 left in the fourth. Gobert with a screen on Hayes. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Oh, and Gobert powers it home.
If he's that close to the cup, Rudy Gobert knows how to finish.
Detroit calls timeout. They're losing by 11. A minute 20 left in the final quarter. The Pistons making a switch here. Bagley's checked in. Here's Ivy. And we're about 2 minutes into the fourth now. Detroit, no good that time either. Minnesota has gone 0 for 2 from outside here in the fourth quarter.
And the clock will wind down on this one. Just a solid effort and a good win for the Timberwolves.
This team did a lot of things well tonight. Number 1 was passing the ball.
And it was a team that was in rhythm. And they just trusted each other to take the right shots.
Man, this is a nice victory for them. It's win number 14 of the year.
And having this win on the books might give them a little mental advantage the next 2 times these squads meet.
And even the opposing fans can't deny this was a sensational game for Rudy Gobert.
We saw him get a lot of touches tonight, and he wasted very few of them. Really made himself the backbone of their offense.
Hard work pays off right there. Anthony Edwards finds himself in the paint and draws contact.
Shooting for Minnesota, Edwards. Edwards. Taking 2 shots.
And he drops the first.
Well, Anthony Edwards has the kind of frame and skill set that can make him a force. But it all comes down to paying the price and putting in the work now.
And both free throws good for Edwards. 23 seconds left to play in the fourth. They swipe it. Here's Forbes. Here's Rivers. And so it's Minnesota easily grabbing this one. It ends up being a fairly easy road win.
Those are so hard to come by. It's never easy to take a game in someone else's building.
Well, now we have some time to check in with Allie LaForce. Allie.
All right, thanks, guys. D'Angelo, some great basketball tonight. Talk about the winning habits this team is forming.
Keeping it simple on the offensive end, limiting our errors on the defensive end. And I think that piles up. We stay solid throughout the whole game. Just simple, man. I think the simpler we keep it, the better we are as a team.
Keep it simple. What a great reminder. Thanks, D'Angelo.
All right, Allie, thank you. And that about wraps it up. For Grant Hill, Allie LaForce, and Doris Burke, and the rest of our 2K team, this is Brian Anderson signing off as we present our New Balance Player of the Game, Rudy Gobert.